Hello my guitar friends, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to unveil this PRS Wood Library Collection. We're going to be showing you the guitars in detail and also talking about the specs. We're also going to talk a little bit of what is the Wood Library program and how you can get one of these wonderful guitars. So all that coming up. I'll see you after the break. Let's go. Alright, here we have guitar number one. We have a black cloth case, rectangular case. It's a paisley cloth design, pretty cool. So you're gonna get cloth cases with Wood Library. You won't get this in a core. We have golden latches, 3 of them. Have a brown leather handle. So let's see what is this all about. And we have a McCarthy 594 double cut. This is a champagne gold finish, and this is a, I think it's pretty hard to find because I haven't seen any other Wood Library with this color. It's quite very nice. You can see all the sparkles. You know, it's not really quite a gold top because it's kind of like little champagne. Yeah, so it kind of looks like the little tiny bubbles in a champagne glass. So yeah, this is a Brazilian rosewood fingerboard. And we have classic burrs. We have a white binding on the fingerboard because this is a McCarthy 594. McCarthy 594 is kind of more like vintage style. You have the vintage tuner, the tuning keys, and actually my PRS replaced the tuning keys recently, and they replaced them with some plastic shape. I don't remember the name, but these are the ones I love, the classic ones, kind of tulip shape. So yeah, 594 for me is my favorite model from PRS. Keep in mind that I'm going to be talking about some basic stuff about PRS because there's a lot of people that come to my channel that are new to PRS, so I want to make sure people understand. So this is Ted McCarthy used to be the president of Gibson, and Paul Reed Smith basically got together with him. He had the role of an advisor for PRS for a while, and Paul wanted to kind of find out everything about the classic Les Paul. Everything he could, so he could like make a better version of it. And in the end we got the PRS McCarthy 594. 594 is for the scale length. And this we have a configuration of 2 humbuckers, and these are the traditionals you will find in most of guitars in vintage style right now. These are 58 15s. We have the two-piece combination tailpiece and bridge, similar to a Les Paul. If you come from Les Paul, this should look familiar to you. And then we have one volume for each pickup and one tone for each pickup. We have the tones split coil. And PRS does a great job with this split coil. Is a pretty good. It's not really like a single coil. It tries to emulate the sound, but not quite. But compared to other guitars I have seen and some other brands I have, they do the best job. Alright, so let's just check out the back of the guitar. And there's not that many surprises here in terms of the woods. These are the standard woods that you will find in a chord. This is all mahogany, but it's a very nice piece of mahogany. It has several subtle details that change while you move the guitar, so there's some kind of 3D effect. I mean, not as noticeable as a nice flame top, but mahogany can be a very beautiful wood, and this is particularly a very good piece because I have a couple of chords and they are not as nice. And of course, custom built for USA only because it's a rosewood fretboard. Remember that all the allocation that guitar manufacturers have made of Brazilian woods, Brazilian rosewood specifically, cannot be exported. So that's why I had to disclose this and put that little sign. So if you are not in the USA, you cannot really get this Brazilian rosewood. So yeah, so that's why I like it, because I'm a very, I started with Les Paul. Les Paul was kind of my favorite guitar growing up, but PRS, once I play out 594, there was no going back. It's just quite an amazing guitar. So there you have it. Champagne Gold, Wood Library, McCarthy, 594, double cup. Okay, it's time for the second guitar. What do we have here? It is a black rectangular Tolex case. This guitar is from 2007, so it's kind of, I think it's gonna be the oldest guitar we're gonna be looking at today. Latches are nickel, and the latches you can see very different from contemporary wood library case. These are, you know, typical Fender style design. Regular latch here. Have a leather, black leather handle, and another one of these. Notice all the scratches. I can tell you that this is a guitar that has gone through quite a lot. Let's see. There you go. This is a McCarthy. This is the original McCarthy, nothing to do with the 594. This is all Corina. The body, the neck, the top. Well, there's no top. It's just plain Corina all over the place. This is a 2007 guitar. This is a limited run they did. It's a 500 limit of 500 units. So many different interesting things to talk about this guitar. One of them is that this is not really a wood library per se. Indeed is a special wood. This is something that you cannot really get on a regular production core. So that's why I included this in my wood library collection, because it doesn't really fit in a core collection. It's more like it was kind of more like a special run they did. And also they did this with the Santana. The Santana signature also had a run on Corina. Brazilian rosewood with classic birds. And the finish of this guitar, the body, is vintage natural. So it has some lacquer that I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit yellow. I don't think it's quite transparent, so that's why I'm saying there's some kind of little yellow in it. That makes the Corina. I think makes the Corina looks great. For me, Corina is one of my favorite woods, because I mean the grain is just so pretty. They're not really common to find. So okay, so let's go through more specs on this guitar. Keep in mind the McCarthy. This is the original McCarthy. It only came in double cut shape. We have one volume, one tone for the two pickups. Keep in mind that the tone from straight from factory comes with a split, push pull, but not this one, because the previous owner, he did some modifications to it. So we have aftermarket pickups. The original pickups were the PRS McCarthy, the original PRS McCarthy pickups, and they were kind of like, vintage style, but they weren't that good. So the previous owner replaced them with both of them are bare knuckles. So on the neck we have a HSP P90 Blue Note, very very good quality P90, if you ask me. Sounds amazing. And then we have a humbucker on the bridge. This is the Stormy Monday humbucker. So I think it's a great combination. I mean, look at that green. I love Corina. And then we have the wrap tail, one piece. If you want to check another McCarthy, you can check my PRS private stock collection. You're gonna find one there. Much more fancy than this one, of course, but that guitar is kind of stock. It has it now comes with the PRS 5815s. That's kind of the pickup that comes with this model. So yeah, this is kind of a special animal because it's been around and it's been modified, and I actually love the sound. You have McCarthy on the truss rod cover, and then you have golden PRS signature, tulip style vintage tuning machines. And let's just go and see what we have in the other side. More Corina. I mean, look at that. The neck is Corina as well. So I'm pretty sure this is the only guitar that I have with a Corina neck. In terms of the profile of the neck, this is a fat wide. So this is on a spec for the neck that I don't think is available anymore. It's kind of the old way of PRS. Now they have pattern vintage. So this is a fat wide. Sounds like pretty like baseball bat, but this is not. This is actually pretty thin. If you compare it to a pattern vintage, it's kind of more like the pattern thin that comes in the PRS Custom 24, something like that. So I prefer very chunky necks. This is not it, but I adapt. I'm not super picky on that, so it's perfectly fine. What else? So 2007. Oh, one thing is that you didn't see the disclaimer regarding the Brazilian fretboard, because this was produced before they had the legal situation with the woods, endangered woods from Brazil. So before that, there was no really controls, and they didn't require you to disclaim anything about the Brazilian wood. So that's why you don't see it here. But it is now a requirement. So there you go. All Corina, McCarthy in vintage natural. Okay, it's time for the third guitar of this collection. What do we have is another cloth wood library Paisley rectangular case. It is exactly the same case design you saw before with the flowers. And then we have 3 latches, golden latches, brown leather handle. Let's see what we have inside here. Actually, I don't know what is in here. So let's see. Oh yeah, charcoal. So this is a PRS private stock. Oh, sorry, no, not private stock. I wish private stocks has the same price as Wood Library, but this is a PRS Wood Library 594 McCarthy 594 single cut. So this is our first single cut of the day. I mean, look at that. This is a top 10. So PRS basically selects the best tops and they qualify them as top 10. I mean 10 top. I just get it confused all the time. It's 10 top. So yeah, I guess you can go from 1 to 10, and 10 is pretty much the highest you can go. It's gonna be usually a top that is flame all over the place. There's no lack of flames in any corner of the top, or it's quilt like this one, and the quilt is gonna be pretty much present anywhere you look at it. And it has a very good movement. You can see some kind of 3D effect. So alright, so let's just talk about specs. Same old thing for the McCarthy 594 in terms of electronics. As we discussed with the double cut, we have a 3-way switch. The top is for the neck, middle for both pickups, and down here is for the bridge. We have the 2-piece bridge tail piece situation we saw before. We have the 5815 PRS humbuckers in both positions. We have 1 volume and 1 tone for each pickup, and then we also have the push-pull split for each pickup here. And this McCarthy 594, I always want to compare these Wood Library guitars with the plain chords, so we can just understand why we're buying a more expensive guitar. What are the extra features you get? In this case, you get the crazy quilted 10 top, and sometimes I don't know exactly, but this might be also a Wood Library color. The finish is also one of the things you can get in these guitars, and usually private stock guitars, they have their own colors that you cannot have them in a core guitar. But in Wood Library, there's many Wood Libraries that are actually finished in private stock finishes, or any exclusive finishes that are not available in the core line. So I don't remember this particular charcoal one, if it's a specific to the Wood Library or a private stock one, but keep in mind that's one of the elements that you can have kind of extra in a Wood Library. We have more Brazilian fingerboard. So this is I actually like this one a lot. It feels so good on the fingers. It's a nice piece of Brazilian rosewood. We have the classic birds again. Another thing that I noticed in this guitar is the the hardware. There's some gold in the hardware. We have, usually the McCarthy will come with the vintage style tuning buttons, and this one doesn't. This is steel and golden, so it's a golden finish steel. I think it looks pretty cool. So you can also see some gold here in the ring, that piece of hardware that surrounds the switch tip. There's some gold in the right here in the tailpiece. There's the two big screws are gold, and then the screws of the pickups are gold as well. So that's something that usually don't find in a regular core model. So let's see what else we find on the back. Anything special here? So it's a basically black painted body and back. I'm not a fan of paint on the back, but you know, because of this amazing top that this guitar has, I didn't care about it too much. And we have also the buttons for the straps, they're gold. And then we have torrefied maple. So this is a torrefied maple neck, and let me tell you what torrefied is. It's basically a wood that goes through a extra drying process. So the more dry the wood, the more stable it is. So in this case, they roasted. Basically, they put it in the oven and make sure the wood is as dry as possible. So yeah, so that's, and it's as you can see, it's a flame maple, and that's just a beautiful flame that moves a lot. It has a very nice 3D effect. So, and you know, it's kind of satin, so it's a super comfortable to play. I hate sticky necks, so this is something that it's one of the features I love the most about this guitar, how it feels, this neck. And then here, you know, you can have a better view of those golden buttons. I think they look awesome. Custom build for USA only, because we have a Brazilian fretboard. And then you can see the 10. If you see a little 10 in that right corner, it means that it's a 10 top. So you have one of the best tops you can get from PRS. And then the profile of that neck is pattern vintage, just like the first McCarthy 594 we saw, that golden champagne gold double cut. So let's see, I don't forget anything. Well, that's pretty much it. So there you have it. Charcoal finish McCarthy 594 single cut. Alright, it's time for guitar number 4 of the day, and we have another rectangular wood library case with the cloth paisley design. And this one I don't know which one is it. Before opening, we have 3 latches, golden, with the brown leather handle. So let's just go ahead and see what we have. Alright, so this is a custom 24 fat back. So fat back means that the body of the guitar is thicker than the regular custom 24. It's more like a McCarthy double cut thickness. The McCarthy single cut is a little bit thicker. So this is kind of similar to a McCarthy 594 double cut in terms of the thickness of the body. We have a finish that is purple iris, and this is also a 10 top like the previous guitar. So it's our first custom 24 of the day. So let's go through the electronics. We have 1 volume and 1 tone for the 2 pickups. Keep in mind, this is not your typical custom 24 because it's a wood library and it's a fat back. It has different features. The traditional custom 24 core comes with the 5-way little thingy that you can kind of, it's the same stuff as a Stratocaster. This one has a regular 3-way switch. So the top is for the neck, middle for both, and then the bottom is for the bridge. So you can basically have different combinations by splitting right here. This is gonna split the 2 pickups at the same time. So yeah, it's a little different. Another difference is that this comes with the 5815 PRS humbuckers. Then standard custom 24, it came with the 8515. I don't remember exactly. I'll put it right here. But yeah, these are not the regular production line humbuckers that come with the custom 24. I think I read somewhere they are going to start using them now for these models, but I'm not really sure. I'll find out and I'll put it on the production while I'm producing this video. So you can see it's a pretty crazy flame that we have here. It's just I don't know if the camera is really making justice of it, but it's just wow. I mean there's like, this looks more kind of private stock, to be honest. So we have gunmetal hardware. You can see some of that in the hardware around the switch. Nothing to see here in terms of the bridge. These are tremolo bridge. And then these are gunmetal. The covers of the pickups are gunmetal. And then we have a beautiful maple fretboard with standard classic burrs. And this is a, bro, you saw that there's some flame there. So yeah, this is a flame maple fretboard. Very nice piece of wood there. And then we have maple headstock with phase 3 tuning locking tuner, and then we can see the metal, the gunmetal buttons of the tuning machine. They look pretty cool. I think it's a great combination overall for this guitar. From far away, those pickups look darker than what they are really. So, but you know, it's hard to keep them clean. I struggle trying to clean my pickup covers. Try different products, and it's just impossible to keep them pristine. So what else is important in this guitar? I neglected to talk about the binding on the top and the side of the guitar, but this one, most PRS core and Wood Library press, so they have natural binding. So it's basically the maple. If you're coming from the Gibson world, it's gonna be a little exotic for you, because Gibson, they just do their white or tinted white bindings, but PRS, I love that little touch of wood coming out of the paint on the sides. So let's go around and see if there's anything more exotic. Oh yep, there you have it. It's a swamp ash body and back. And that's an awesome piece of wood for sure. Look at all those all that grain, all those lines you see there. So it's hard to look at this and compare the thickness, because it's better to do it side by side. But this is definitely thicker than a regular custom 24. It's a little more chunky, and I welcome that. I like big heavy guitars with chunky necks. I mean, yeah, the more the merrier. And then we have a flame maple neck, and this is also, how do you call, like satin. It's definitely, look at the movement. You can see the actual movement of that flame there. Yeah, I love it. It's just super smooth. There's no friction here. Super easy. I mean, I think that all necks should come like satin. It's just, most people prefer them. And then we have the headstock. You can see the 10 in the right corner there for 10 top, and then those gunmetal phase 3 tuning machines. Yeah, I just love coming from Gibson, where it's very hard to find maple, and PRS makes all these cool combinations of woods with their wood library and private stock programs. I like having a Les Paul guitar in the McCarthy 594 that comes with maple. Super cool. But keep in mind, this guitar is a different animal compared to what we have seen so far in terms of those 594s. This is more kind of their modern guitar, and it's actually the guitar that made Paul Reed Smith famous and popular, because he basically combined the design of a Stratocaster and a Les Paul, and this is what he came up with. So it's more like a modern guitar. If you compare it to the McCarthy's kind of vintage guitars, this is a more modern guitar in terms of the shape and also the sound of the the humbuckers. Well, these are actually the McCarthy ones, 5815s, but the regular ones, they come with that 85 that I mentioned, and I'll put it here and once I am editing the video. So what else? Oh yeah, I forgot, this is 24 frets. Of course, it's a custom 24. If you are new to PRS, this is has 24 frets. If you see that little, this is actually an owl. It's an owl. Right now it's kind of, you know, upside down right here in this video, but this is an owl. When you see an owl, it means there's 24 frets. Another PRS that comes with 24 frets is the Santana signature. So, and forgot to mention, there's no really any binding in the neck here in the fretboard. It's just basically the maple from the fretboard. So no binding here. So there you have it. This is a 2022 PRS Wood Library Custom 24 Fatback tank top, finished in purple iris. Alright, my friends, it's time for the fifth guitar of this collection, and we see something new here. It's a full color paisley cloth rectangular case. So, yep, it looks pretty fancy compared to the black one. It's basically the same design but with colors. So, you know, kind of like pretty classic look from the 60s, 70s. We have 3 golden latches just like the other ones, and then a brown handle. And we have brown leather on the edges of the case. So without any further ado, I have to open this and see what is the secret behind. Voila! This is a copper top finish, and we have quite a different animal here compared to the other guitars we have seen in this video. This is a PRS Wood Library 408 with a quilted maple top. This is a very impressive top. It's like, it looks like 3 or 4 different tops depending on how you look at it, the angle and the light. It does have a lot of 3D movement, and it's just beautiful. Semi-hollow body, you can see that F there. So yeah, let's talk about this model, because this model is no longer in production. This is a 2016 production year. So back in the day, PRS had this model. The reason for the name 408 is because the 4 is for 1, 2, 3, 4 coils, and the 8 is for 8 different sounds. So if you combine these mini toggle switches, each one will split a coil. So this one right here will split the neck humbucker, and this one will split the bridge. So you combine these settings with this switch here, this 3-way, you know, this guy is for the neck, middle for both, and then this is the bridge. So yeah, you do the math, because it's like late here and I'm tired, but you get 8 different sounds. If you, the different permutations you can do with these little switches and this guy here will give you all that. This is not a split, how do you call it, push-pull. This is not push-pull. This is a way you split the coils with these tiny little switches. So that's kind of the main idea behind the electronics of the 408. Another thing that is important is the pickups. These pickups, if you remember the few we have seen before today, these are kind of different shapes. So these pickups, when they are in humbucker mode, they sound more like a P90, you know, kind of single coily. At least that's my perception, you know, this is subjective, so that's the way they sound to me. But yeah, I love the flexibility you get with this guitar. It's a lot of different sounds. Brazilian rosewood fretboard with classic birds. 408 in the truss rod cover. We have gold buttons for the Gen 3, phase 3 locking tuners. And then the thing is that once there was this 408 model, and then PRS recently decided that they were going to kind of bring back the, this kind of circuit, because now we have the custom 2408, and the 08 is exactly the same. It has those two toggle mini switches, so you basically can get those 8 sounds now with the custom 24. It's kind of when they came out with this decision to come up with this custom 24 version, I was pretty angry about it, because I always wanted to have a 408, and back then I wanted one because I tested one. I played one from a friend and I love it, and when I went to the market, this was already discontinued. So I could not find any in the market. They were, the people that had them, they were not selling. So I found a private stock that is a private stock. It's called the Signature PRS private stock, which is you can check it out in my collection video for private stock. But that one has the 408 pickups. These are the 408 pickups, exactly the same. Some people call it, I don't know if it's narrow pickups, but I call them 408. So that one has the same electronics, same pickups, same toggle switches. So I bought that. It was very pricey, and then eventually, about 4 years after, I found this guitar in reverb, and I just fell in love with that top. But now, the custom 2408, there it is, pretty much same thing. All right, so let's go behind. Let's see what we find. Keep in mind, this guitar is it has the artist package. So the description of the product from PRS says artist package, and the top specifically, an artist package top. I am not really quite sure what that means, because if it's a wood library and it's also artist package, wood libraries have certain appointments that you're gonna find in the core, but the artist package as well, because I think one of the things that artist package was like basically golden tuning buttons and a lot of gold in the hardware, but that's something that also you get with wood library. We saw a charcoal 594 single cut that has that gold, and it's not described as a artist package, so I have to do more research about it. So so this guy is mahogany body, so nothing fancy. This is the way the regular 408 came with mahogany body. This one is a little kind of a tint, like a red tint, and then we have a gorgeous flame maple neck, and then we have custom built for USA because of the Brazilian rosewood open tuning machines, phase 3, and then we have again this very fancy neck that has a lot of movement. I'll show you later how it moves. So this guitar, in terms of the feel of it feels like a custom 24 without you know, with 22 frets. And one of the reasons is because the neck is a pattern thin profile, so it's kind of very thin neck. The guitar feels pretty fast. It's a light guitar because it's semi-hollow, so pretty comfortable guitar and pretty cool sounds. So there you have it, the PRS Wood Library Artist Package 408, semi-hollow with a copper top, artist grade top. Okay folks, it's time for guitar number 6. Another colorful paisley cloth rectangular Wood Library PRS case with the 3 golden latches, brown leather handle, Okay, so let's see what we have here. So this is a PRS Wood Library McCarthy 594 double cut. Yeah, that top is just incredible. So this is our second, I believe it's our second 594 double cut. So specs are the same. We have those vintage style tuning buttons. And then what's special about this guitar is that it has a city cut fretboard and comes with the classic burrs, and these ones are cool because they basically only have the outline. The inside of the burrs is just the wood of the fingerboard. Yeah, so city cut is it's not very common in the fretboards, but this is my only city cut fretboard I have, and I really love it. So what else? This guitar is finished in maple leaf. So maple leaf finish. It's pretty cool because it has this darker tone on the center. It is also a 10 top. The pickups, nothing out of the ordinary. These are the PRS 5815s, and then we have the 2-piece tailpiece bridge combination. We have 1 tone and 1 volume knobs for each pickup. We have push pull for each pickup. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is satin. This is not glossy, it's completely satin, so it's just very smooth to the touch. Let's go and see what we have on the other side. So we have a standard mahogany back, which is what you get in a core McCarthy 594. However, this one is painted in a way that looks kind of, I don't know if it's orange, more orange than red. And I think it looks super cool. And this mahogany is a nice selection with pretty cool grain there. Yeah, I really dig it. I love the color. And then we have a flame maple neck, and this is also satin, super soft and very easy. Not sticky at all, just satin. And for some reason this one smells so good. Got nice grain there. Definitely very nice grain there. So remember, guys, we buy these guitars because of the exotic woods, not because the woods sound like, what people say, the quote unquote evil war tone wood. There's no tone wood, that's just marketing. The reason why these woods are expensive is not because they sound better, it's because they are very premium, very exotic, hard to find, with crazy grain patterns and crazy flames and quilts, and you name it, but it's not the tone. Okay, remember that. It's a worth buying a wood library, of course. Like anything in life is worth buying, as long as you have the right reasons, right? So reason for everything. If you don't have the right reasons, they might not be worth to you. So you don't buy these guitars because of the tone or how they sound, really, because that's a given. Now even PRS SEs, they sound amazing. So they solve that problem of, like, in the past, oh, this guitar don't sound good, well, that tone it sucks, or that humbucker is so bad. We don't have that problem anymore, so they got rid of that problem for you. So don't keep insisting on the tone wood situation, because it's just a waste of time. It's just simply the human ear cannot really differentiate a wood from the other. At least in an electric guitar, it's something that is just a tiny percent. I don't know, 5% or less. I think the cable has more influence on the tone than you think the wood has. The speakers combined with the pickups are the main tone source. So if you want to play the tone game, focus on those factors and focus on the wood. All right, so yeah, so many standard features. The fancy things are the top, which is oh, I forgot. Did I check? Oh yeah, it has a tender for the top. And then I got distracted. These are the vintage style McCarthy tuning machines. Remember, guys, these are not locking. So these are not locking tuning machines. They don't lock. And it's because this is more kind of like a vintage style guitar. If you're a purist, you don't want any new technologies, right? You want things the way they were in the past. So that's if that's your thing, then this is the guitar for you. It's very vintage looking, classic looking. I don't really mind the non-locking tuners, because I don't change the strings often. I mean, I don't really, yeah, I that's a fact that there's a difference between new strings and old strings, but I don't care that much. It just sounds like a guitar to me. Then I forgot. Well, look at that. Look at those lines that go vertically. Looks so cool. Then we have the binding. Is the non-binding style, natural flame maple coming out through the edges. Another thing is that we do have real binding in the neck, like all 594s. Some other vintage specification. So there you have it, maple leaf finish on a PRS Wood Library McCarthy 594 double cut. Alright guys, we have made it to the last guitar. Guitar number 7. Last but not least, this guitar is, trust me, a beauty. It's a heavyweight in the world of the wood libraries. We are back to a black cloth paisley PRS Wood Library, rectangular case with 3 golden latches and 1 brown leather handle, brown on the edges, leather that is. And let's just go and figure this out. What do we have here? Look at that. Can you take a guess? What is this? Yes, you were right. Another McCarthy 594. This is a 2025 PRS Wood Library McCarthy 594 single cut iceberg fade finish. So if you know me, you know I love fades. I love beach fades. I love most kind of fades you can have, and this one is just like outstanding. I mean, you have to look at this in person to actually appreciate how pretty it is. So let's talk about specs. This guitar came from Brian Guitars. It was a special run for their 15th anniversary. You can see the truss rod cover. It doesn't say McCarthy, it just has these stars. So that's kind of part of the celebration truss cover, if you will. Yeah, this is a different animal. There's several specs that are not as a traditional McCarthy 594, and this is all part of the anniversary run. You see, we have a 5815 neck humbucker, and then we have 5909 humbucker on the bridge. And if you take a look closely, you're gonna find that this bridge pickup doesn't have a cover, and this one does. And this is something that I have found that Brian Guitars, they do that. It's something they prefer in some special runs, because I have another Brian Guitars, is a private stock. It's the Supernova. You can find it in the other video, the private stock collection I made. That one has the same exact setup, these same pickups, and the configuration with the one with the cover and one without the cover. And I think it looks pretty cool, especially in this fade. So that's a difference. The other difference is in the electronics. So, you know, typical McCarthy 594, right? We have 1 volume and 1 tone for each pickup, but these guys are not push-pull. There's no push-pull here, so there's no way to split the coils. It's a fixed humbucker configuration, and to be honest, I don't care, because I rarely use the push-pull. I don't care. I'm not a big single coil person. I am more like a humbucker kind of person. That's why I'm not like the biggest Fender fan, because Fender is kind of, their traditional guitars were single coil ones. So yeah, It's perfect for me. We have the 2-piece bridge and set piece here. Configuration, nothing abnormal. This is all following the standards of the 594. Same thing here, we find in all the other ones, the bottom for the bridge, middle for both, and the top for the neck. So this goes from like blue, very dark blue, to kind of like, everything is natural wood color here. But you know, check this incredible top. Look at those lines, the vertical and horizontal, how they go. That's just amazing. They did an amazing job with this run. All their wood libraries have tops like this. I don't see a difference between this and a private stock top. Like, it's amazing. So yeah, that was, wow, unreal. When I saw it, I was like, take my money. So another thing is that we have the cover for this pickup is gunmetal, and then we have a flame maple fretboard with classic birds. Then we have the headstock, also maple, with the vintage tuners, of course. Let's see what we have behind. Wow, that is a 1-piece swamp ash back, and it is quite stunning. I mean, this is the reason, guys. This is why we buy these guitars, because the exotic woods, not the tone, they're gonna sound amazing. They're gonna sound amazing. They already fixed that problem for you. We're talking about something else. It's just aesthetics, appreciation of this amazing art, natural art. This is basically a tree. Look at it, right there, a tree, and look at all the grain on the side. Yeah, this is a premium piece of wood. Remember, guys, these are expensive woods. They are not tone woods. They are not that expensive because the tone they give you. They are expensive because look at this freaking grain. Look at that knot there. So we have a maple, flame maple neck, and this is satin as well, so no stickiness there. She's super friendly to your hands. And then we have, yeah, these are gunmetal. I believe they are gunmetal. They look super dark. These are vintage tuning machines with the vintage tulips. So this doesn't say 10 top. I have found that some special runs, even though they have the quality of a 10 top, they don't put it in these special runs. And this guitar is super pricey. Look at that little detail that comes there in the wood grain there. This is just like a premium grade, almost private stock, very pricey guitar. And yeah, that flame, there's no lacking of flame. There's not an area where there's no flame. It's all covered by all this amazing grain. So you know, this is our last guitar, so let's talk about more about, you know, why we have been discussing why to buy these guitars. Keep in mind, you don't need any guitar, except if you are a musician that, you know, that's your work. You need to play. You play gigs, and that's how you make your money. Yeah, of course you need a guitar. Or the other exception will be somebody that, you know, for mental wellness, mental health. Playing guitar is a form of therapy for them. Yeah, you need a guitar in that case. But if you are a hobbyist, you just play guitar for fun. You don't need that Squire. You don't need that PRS, you don't need that Harley Benton. You don't need a single guitar. You don't need a guitar. You don't need an instrument. Okay. So when you say you don't need an expensive guitar, well, you don't need that, you know, that Chinese guitar you bought for $200 in a website. So that's the first thing. We don't need a guitar. But if we have the money and we can afford one, and we want a guitar, we want it, yeah, we buy it if we can afford it. The cheap one, the expensive one, the custom one, whatever you like. But know the reasons why you're buying what you're buying. And also know the product, know what you're buying. Beware of marketing gimmicks and buzzwords that will get you to buy shit you don't need. So if you really want a fancy guitar that has this kind of woods, you can probably get a cheaper guitar if you have a luthier that will do it for you. You know, make sure it's a reputable luthier. If you cannot really afford a private stock, you can get a wood library, which will get you very close to a private stock. The difference between private stock and wood library is that you don't order these things through a dealer. In fact, you cannot really custom order one. The dealer will make runs of wood libraries, and they will just basically have them in the shop for you to buy. So they are already pre-made. You don't get to configure and choose the wood you want, but there's tons of different offerings. Take a look, go to River and use PRS Wood Library keyword, and you're gonna find so much variety and so many different woods and combinations. So yeah, if you have the money, you can afford it, and you know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, this is a guitar that will sound great. It's more about the way it looks and the exotic woods. If you want a guitar that sounds great, well, just get on a C. Get a core if you don't care how they look. Even though PRS, you can almost say that all PRS guitars are beautiful. They are, even those veneers that you see in the cheap ones, well, not cheap ones, less expensive ones. Those veneers are like killer. Some of them, you cannot really tell the difference too much of differentiate them between a real full top. They look incredible. So yeah, this is something that if you have the extra cash, you want a very special guitar that you're gonna cherish and play or not play, because some of you are looking for guitars to put on the wall. Some of you don't play guitar, you just love guitars. I know somebody that knows about guitars more than me, and he doesn't play guitar. So everybody has a different goal. So, but keep in mind that it doesn't matter what guitar you have. It doesn't matter if it's a cheap Epiphone, Harley Benton, whatever cheap guitar you can get in Amazon. At one point somebody sat down on a table to design that guitar. There was engineering that happened to design those electronics and make them sound. So every guitar, doesn't matter if it's like massively produced with machines or a handmade, they are pieces of art. Somebody sat down and designed them, and you can appreciate those details. It doesn't matter the price of the guitar. You just sit down and look at it, and you're gonna find beauty somehow in that guitar. It doesn't matter how much you pay for it. So keep that in mind. By the end of the day, when we leave this war, we're gonna leave behind all this stuff. We're gonna leave behind our Fenders, our PRSs, our Gibsons, our Harley Bentons, our Ibanez. Everything is gonna be left behind. But we have to do whatever we can in this life. Treat yourself to something nice once in a while. So I also want to remind you that I am not sponsored by any brand or any individual. In all these videos I do, this is independent, and I don't get to lie in these reviews and showcases. I basically say things the way they are. I don't have to lie for a company. When I see something nice, I will say it's nice. When I see something that's terrible, I'm gonna say it's terrible. The guitar sucks, I'm gonna say it sucks. I love PRS guitars, but I also smell the bullshit in the marketing, and I will always tell the truth. There's things that I don't like about PRS, and I will say those things. But in general, the guitars I buy, I know them very well. I know they are gonna be for me, and I'm gonna be happy with them. The things I don't like about PRS, I usually stay away and don't put my dollars in that. So also, I have regular jobs. I'm a regular citizen. I'm not a musician, so I do this with my free time. I don't have that much free time, but the problem is I have too many hobbies. I also play bass and drums, and most of the few hours I have of free time, I would just use them to practice guitar or any other instrument. It's just not very often I get to do this video, so I just do it because of the love for music, and because I am very fortunate to be able to own these guitars, and I want to share them with you. There's a lot of guitar friends out there that want to know more about high-end guitars, PRS guitars, and it's the least I can do. Just share them through YouTube, and maybe you learn one thing or two, and we can start also a conversation. It's great to just talk to people that feel the same passion for the hobby. So yeah, this is all for you guys. So so we're gonna go through the showcase I do with a different camera and different lights, so you don't miss anything. And so I'm gonna say goodbye here. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm gonna be coming up with new collection videos. I have a Gibson collection video and a Fender collection video coming up, and also I'm doing the individual in-depth reviews of the private stocks, the private stock collection. So we're gonna have a video for each one. I am releasing I think I already released one. Yeah, so check it out in my channel. Yeah, so thank you so much, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.